Namaste. So, we are going to talk about blood and body fluids today. So, today we are going to talk about four topics in today's video that are composition of blood, plasma, properties of blood, and function of blood. Now, amongst these topics, you'll get a lot of questions in Viva. Let's get into the first topic that we have, which is composition of blood. Now, what are the components of blood? First, plasma, which is nothing but the liquid portion, and formed elements, which are nothing but the blood cells. Now, what are blood cells? RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. Okay, so blood constitute two parts. First is the plasma, which is nothing but the liquid portion. Second is the formed elements, which are nothing but the blood cells. Blood cells, which include RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. Okay, now we will talk about hematocrit value. What is hematocrit value? So first we'll discuss the process that we will undergo in this value for obtaining the value. That is, we will take a hematocrit tube, we will collect blood and we will add an anticoagulant to it so that the blood which we have collected, which is outside the body, will not get coagulated. Okay, we will centrifuge it for 30 minutes at a speed of 3000 revolutions per minute. Okay, now what will happen in this process is that the RBCs will settle down and the plasma will come up at the top, and there will be a thin white buffy coat in between both of them. Okay, so we'll get 55% of plasma at the top, 45% of RBCs at the bottom. It has settled down due to the centrifugation process, and in between we have a thin white buffy coat, which is the aggregation of WBCs and platelets. That's it. Okay, now but what is hematocrit value? It is nothing but the volume of RBCs expressed in percentage. So this is nothing but our hematocritic value, or we can say packed cell volume, which is PCV. Okay, that's it in hematocrit value. Now, we talked about the composition of blood. We talked about plasma and formed elements. Now we will undergo with the we will understand about the plasma, which is the liquid portion. Okay, now plasma. Plasma is a straw-colored, clear liquid part of the blood. Okay, it is straw-colored and it is clear liquid. If you take it outside, in this process, we will see that it's clear. Okay, it has three parts: water, solid, and gas. Water is present in 91 to 92%, solid is present in 8 to 9%, and gases. Plasma. So it constitutes solid, which is 7 to 8%, water, which is 91 to 92%, and gases. Now, what kind of gases we have in our plasma? Plasma, we know carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen. That's very simple. Okay. Solid. About solid, we have two parts: the organic substances and the inorganic substances. So what are the inorganic substances that we have? Which is nothing but the sodium, calcium, potassium, magnesium, chlorine, phosphorus, and copper. What are the inorganic substances? Sodium, calcium, potassium, magnesium, chlorine, phosphorus, and copper. That's it. The first part of the solids we have completed. In the organic substances. Okay, what are organic substances that we have? Plasma proteins, amino acids, carbohydrates, fats, enzymes, internal secretions, antibodies, and non-protein nitrogenous substances. So what are the plasma proteins that we have? Albumin, globulin, fibrinogen. These are all the plasma proteins that we have in our plasma. Then what are the amino acids that we have? The essential amino acid and the non-essential amino acid. What are the carbohydrates? Glucose is the carbohydrate that we have in our body. This is very basic. Fats. Now what are the three fats that we have? Triglycerides, cholesterol, phospholipids. Triglycerides, cholesterol, and phospholipids. What are the enzymes that we have? Amylase, lipase, protease, esterase. Okay, amylase, lipase, protease, esterase. What are the internal secretions that we have? Hormones, antibodies, and the non-protein nitrogenous substances, which include ammonia, urea, uric acid, creatinine. Ammonia, urea, uric acid, creatine, and creatinine. That's it. That's all we have to do in plasma. That it has three components: solids, water, and gases. Solids 1 to 8%, 7 to 8%, water 91 to 92%, gases. Okay, so gases is very easy. We have carbon dioxide, oxygen, and nitrogen. And in solids are also very easy because we have organic substances and inorganic substances. That's it. Okay, now we will talk about this topic, serum. You can get a question on this, like define serum. So what is serum? Serum is nothing but a clear straw colored liquid that oozes from blood clot. Now how does it oozes? When blood is shedding or it is collected in a container, it clots, right? When you take out blood from your body, or you have a cut, you will get blood, right, coming out of it. So what happens is that the plasma has fibrinogen, as we talked about in plasma proteins, which is coming in organic substances, that it has fibrinogen. What is fibrinogen? Fibrinogen, when converted to fibrin, will form a clot. When it forms a clot, it will not allow the red blood cells to go out. It will trap the red blood cells into it. Okay, now after 4 to 45 minutes, you will see that there is a serum oozing out of it. So this serum is nothing but this serum. Okay, so it is a clear straw colored liquid that oozes from the blood clot. It has the same volume as that of the plasma, which is nothing but 55%. Right? Now, serum has all the constituents of plasma except the fibrinogen. So we can say that serum is nothing but the plasma minus fibrinogen. So serum has no fibrinogen. Okay, no fibrinogen. Okay, it has all the constituents of plasma but no fibrinogen. Now we'll talk about the properties of blood. There are four basic properties: color, the volume and viscosity, and pH of the blood. So blood, the atrial blood is scarlet red in color, venous blood is purple red in color. The total blood volume that we have is 5 to 6 liters, and viscosity, about viscosity, it is 4 to 5 times that of the water. pH of blood is 7.4. Okay, pH of blood is 7.4. Now we'll talk about the functions of blood. What are the functions of blood? First is nutrient function. When we eat food, it has glucose, amino acids, lipids, and vitamins, which get digested in our GIT and are absorbed by blood. It is absorbed and carried by blood to different parts for growth and energy production. Then respiratory function. The oxygen that we take in when we breathe is carried from the lungs to the tissues, and the carbon dioxide is carried from the tissues to the lungs. That's how respiratory function is carried out. Excretory functions: all the metabolic activities that are performed in our body will produce certain waste products. Now these waste products are transported from the blood to the excretory organs like skin, kidney, and liver for excretion. Right now, transport of hormones and enzymes. The endocrine glands that are ductless, that directly open into the blood vessels, will carry the hormones to the targeted organs. Right? Regulation of water balance. How is our body regulating the water balance? How is the blood doing it? The amount of water that is getting into an area or the organ or the system is equal to the amount of water getting out of it. So that's how it is regulating the process. So water is interchangeable with the interstitial fluid. That's all we have in regulation of water balance. Now, regulation of acid base balance. Acid and base is like the hemostasis is very important because it can lead to pH changes. It is very important for normal regulation of physiological processes that we carry out for cell metabolism and for various other functions. So it's very important. So plasma and hemoglobin are two of them which will act as buffer. Now what is buffer? Buffering is like when in a solution, if you add acid or base, buffer is something which will resist it from changing its pH. So this is what plasma and hemoglobin will do. So that's how regulation of acid base balance is done in our blood. Regulation of body temperature, because our blood has a high specific heat. Due to this, it will maintain heat loss and the heat gain. Okay, now storage. The water, protein, glucose, sodium, and potassium are constantly required by our body at different times. So, if there is a situation like starvation, fluid loss, or electrolytic loss, and you need sodium, potassium, water, glucose, something at that particular time, that particular organ or that region will take these constituents from the blood. So that's how it will function for storage. So that was all about today's topics. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.